Hi, thanks for tuning in today. I wanted to talk about, being disfellowshipped, but also as a child bride. Um, there's a thing that goes on in the Jehovah's Witness religion that you definitely see a lot of child brides, and I know that also because I was one of them. So if you know some of my story, I've on another video. Um, I showed that I'm a third generation Jehovah's Witness, ex Jehovah's Witness, recovering. My mom and dad are still actually very, very strong Jehovah's Witnesses, and they are, very active and, you know, whatever, that's fine. I respect everyone's choice. I really do. Same with my grandma, and my grandpa is now passed on um, and aunts and uncles and cousins. So I still have family that are very strong in the religion. I don't say the truth anymore. If you're also Jehovah's Witness or exjw, you understand that the truth is how they refer to their religion, and I definitely don't do that. So, I mean, my channel is called Living Truth because I feel like now I'm actually living my truth. And anyways, so that's just a quick background. So back to the child bride thing. So of course it's wrong to have sex before you're married. That's a big no-no, right? But as a kid, as a teenager, you got all these hormones going, and I mean, anyways, it's a whole conversation on its own, which I'm not going to get into that necessarily. But so, anyways, I met this guy when I think I was like 16, maybe 15, but he was my high school sweetheart. We didn't go to high school. He was like 4 years older than me. But, anyways, his mom was actually in the same congregation as mine. And she told him, she said, "Hey, you should meet this girl. She is really beautiful and blah, blah, and so smart and da, 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 whatever," right? Anyway, so then he came to the meeting. He wasn't baptized Jehovah's Witness. So he came to the meeting, we met, and then I was also introduced to him from my sister. She introduced because they went to school together. So anyway, so I kind of met this guy, and he was quite charming, but I wasn't like super, you know, into him, but except that he was really fun. He's worldly, but he was starting to study. So, and I was baptized. I got baptized when I was 13. So it was really not, you're not supposed to date anyone that isn't baptized, like especially if you're baptized. And dating at 16 is just like, you have to have a chaperone with you, and you can never be alone, and all these things. Anyways, we worked around that. My younger sister always came along with us for being a chaperone, which, okay. But really, he was so charming. He actually got a lot of people to just believe that we're completely like trustworthy. And we dated for, I think, just about 2 years or a year and a half. And then my mom found out, reading my diary, that here we were having sex. So she confronted me and all this, and my dad, he's like, "You're gonna get disfellowshipped," and all this, right? So yeah, then we had to meet with the elders, and I mean, at this point, so this is like, I was 17 now, when this was all found out. And yeah, we talked about getting married and stuff. I just graduated school, or high school, and so there was a lot of things that were like, yeah, we're gonna get married. Obviously, we're in love, and so we kind of had started already planning that. But then when it was found out that here we were having sex before marriage, then the literal, crap hit the fan, and the elders were brought in. I had to go through, sit through like multiple elders meetings. But also being a woman, you have to have a male head of you. So in that case, like, it was my dad, because I'm still under his household. So anyways, we got married. We actually ended up eloping because he wasn't baptized. And so there was this whole other thing about, like, well, should we really, should we go to your wedding? And people were asking from the congregation, people behind like, they wouldn't actually come and ask us. They'd actually go and ask my family or his family and say, I don't know if we should come to the wedding. And we hadn't even invited anyone at that point. But it was causing controversy because people were just so worried that they're going to a wedding that one's baptized and one isn't. So it was all, anyways, people were just having a worrisome time in their mind about it. So anyways, we eloped. And it was just like, okay, let's do this. He phones me up. Do you want to get married on Thursday? And I was like, yeah, I'm 17 and yeah, let's do it. That sounds like a fun day. So we did. And it was fun. It was super fun. All the parents were not happy with us, obviously. And at this point, we're still dealing with elders. So this was actually a fun time for a 17-year-old to just go and get married. Woohoo! I'm out from underneath my parents finally. Yay! Independent. Not. But, Anyways. So we didn't actually have a wedding. So that's how it was. And during this exact same time, of course, then I'm going through judicial committees, which is an elder, a committee of 3 elders, where, and they're going through as to, because I'm baptized, and it's a sin, it's really wrong for me to have been having sex with him, who's now my husband, because we corrected that, we got married. So anyways, we still had to go through this, and so my husband actually came with me, my new husband, and he's thinking, this is crazy, like, why, we just corrected it because now we're married, shouldn't be an issue, you know what, like, we're living according to Jehovah's rules. But no, they wanted to make a example of me. And so we went through the whole committee. They pray, leave the room. We're going to pray about this to Jehovah. And so my husband and I, we went out of the room, and we're just like, it's so stressful. And I'm 18 now. I just turned 18. And so we come back into the room, and I'm like, how could they, I can't imagine that I'm going to be disfellowshipped, because nobody knows that this has happened. Nobody except my parents and his mom, and then just these elders, right? That's it. Like, it's not like we've tainted the whole congregation or anything. Everyone just thinks we're just this cute, awesome couple. Like, I'm not kidding. Anyways, so come back into the room with the judicial committee, these 3 elders, and the one, he's like, he gives us the news. Well, we took this matter in prayer to Jehovah, and the 3 of us, it's very clear that we need to disfellowship you. And so I look at them, I'm like, you're wrong, because I feel bad. Like, I feel so bad. Like, we got married. Like, I want to just make sure that, I do feel bad, and da-da-da. And, we went through all these things, and they said, well, sometimes we need to make, these matters as a, what do you call, an example. We have to make this as an example for the rest of the congregation and congregations, because there was like 3 congregations in that town, and I've lived there majority of my life, so all the young people there, now they would see that, oh, she is she's an example, and this is what's going to happen if we have premarital sex, right? Because she's disfellowshipped. So anyways, they said, well, you can what do you call, like, say that you don't agree with this, right? and then it goes to a new committee. So I said, well, yeah, I think I will do that, because it doesn't make sense that this would like become an issue in our town and in the congregation when here we're married. He's studying to get baptized and all this. We just got married. So, we've corrected things and all this. So, no, they wouldn't have it. This is our decision, and Jehovah's, given us that guidance and direction, and we feel this is the right decision. And so I'm like, what if you're wrong? And I asked the head elder on this, and he goes, we're never wrong. And I was like, but what if you are, right? Like, you just made a life-changing decision on me. But yeah, so he's very self-righteous, very self-righteous. And I'm just like, dude, a point about that guy, that elder who is so self-righteous, years later, it came about that he was watching, he had a porn addiction, and he got reprimanded. He didn't get disfellowshipped, but he got reprimanded, and he could no longer be an elder. So I thought, in my later years, I was like, yay, karma, because he's never wrong. So anyways, that was a side note. But so back to, okay, so then I got a new committee because I've just said, I don't agree with your decision. A new set of elders come in and do the whole friggin' set of meetings again. And they decided, we've prayed and da-da-da, and decided that, yes, you need to be disfellowshipped. So the next meeting, we went to the back. Nobody in the whole congregation knows that this is happening except for my mom and dad and my mother-in-law now. And so they're there. We sat in the back because I'm like, I'm not staying the whole thing, right? And then we left right directly after. So they announced it from the stage that so-and-so is disfellowship from this congregation and da-da-da. And so everyone in the, I could hear audible gasps, people were just shocked that this had happened. I mean, I was just pioneering, 3 months before that or something, or, people were shocked that this had happened. And this is where it was just like, yeah, nobody knew this was happening, so you didn't have to actually, anyways. So I was just fellowshipped. So how is that as a, now 18-year-old going to these meetings with a husband that isn't baptized? So he's clear and free. He's not disfellowshipped. He didn't get slapped on the hand or anything, right? It was really weird. So we'd go to the meetings together, and a lot of times I'm like, I don't want to go. It was such a depressing time for me because all my friends have just they're not in my life. Nobody can talk to me. I go to meetings and everyone just totally looks the other way. They can't even make eye contact with you. You're truly worse than anything, which is horrible. For a new bride at 18, it was awful. And I'm in the same congregation as my in-laws and my parents at that time. So anyways, it was very hard because we'd go to the meetings, and so we'd sit near the back because why sit near the front? You get everyone just staring at you, watching, and it just feels so uncomfortable. So you sit at the back, not because you're a sinner necessarily, but you feel like you're definitely bad. Nobody makes eye contact with you. You do feel like slime. It's horrible. And, all these people that you've known for the last, I was in that same congregation for about 12 years up to this point. This is my community. This is my whole tribe. And now no one can talk to me. Nobody even looks at me. Nobody does anything. So I'm going to meetings and I'm sitting with my husband who's baptized or not baptized, and everyone's like shaking his hand and patting him on the shoulder, and just like basically, I think, trying to, show that they're thinking of me, us, maybe. I don't know. It was just so weird, and it just felt so fake. So many times we'd be getting ready for the meeting, and I'm just like, I don't want to go. Like it's so mean, but it's not loving. And to say that, they're only guided by love, and they're the most loving organization, and it's all about love, 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 right? Love your brother, love your sister. But then when they do this, it was really, really harsh. But so anyways, I took a lot of steps to get back in. And so I'm 18, I'm going to every meeting, because now you have to even try harder than ever to get back, so then you can show that you're repentant, right? After the meeting, I would go and sit in the car and wait for my husband to come out. And, he's having all these great conversations with everybody, and it was so strange. But so when I got reinstated, I went through, actually, I asked to be reinstated, I think even 2 months after I was disfellowshipped, but they wouldn't reinstate me then, because I wasn't repentant enough. I don't know how they gauge that, really. And so I think it was like 6 to 8 months after I was disfellowshipped, so I went to like my reinstatement meetings, similar type of thing. You sit in front of like 3 elders, and they basically review, what are you doing to show that you're repentant, and, you're whatever. So you go through all that, and okay, yes, we are going to reinstate you, next meeting, blah, blah. So the next meeting, we're sitting in the back as usual. And then they announce from the stage that, she's now reinstated, and we welcome her back into our Christian congregation. And so everybody, and that's it, But so now people, as they're walking by my chair, they're like making eye contact, and they're smiling, and they're like so happy. It was so fake. Like, that's the saddest thing, is that that religion makes people into fake human beings. It makes them into really conditional loving people. Very loving people, so long as you're following the rules. But there's so many conditions placed on it that you don't even realize that. I didn't realize that while I was a Jehovah's Witness. I do now. So after the meeting ended, and I'm standing in the back, because, now I'm reinstated. Now I'm back in the fold. And so all these friends come up, and they're hugging me, and they're just like so happy. Some people are even crying, and I'm like, wow, interesting. Fake, right? But I was reinstated, and life went on, and I carried on in that religion for the next many years. I didn't get out of it until I was like 35. So, and I was married for 17 years. So that's that. But yeah, so back to the child bride. I see that all the time in how young women and men are getting married so young, very young. They don't even know really what they're doing, other than they just want to have sex, probably. And they can't control that. I mean, I've talked to a lot of women in their like 20s, 30s, and some of my friends were just like, I hate that bastard, like talking about their husband in confidentiality to me, or confidence to me. And I'd be like, holy, like I never ever felt that way about my husband. I'd never talk like that. But this is the thing, when people get married into that religion, you're not really even allowed to get divorced. So it's kind of craziness. It's a crazy thing that happens there. But anyways, that's my story. And if you have any comments, maybe you've had a similar experience, I'd love to hear them. If you've had similar like even disfellowshipping around that. I am curious to hear other people's stories that they've gone through, and I'll read everybody's and comment back. I want this to be, it's a very supportive avenue I think we have now, where we can post these videos and we can be supportive of each other, because you definitely don't have that when you first leave a religion, or even for those of you that are even thinking about leaving or going through some struggles with it. Been there, done that, and it is tough, because your whole tribe is basically changed forever. So yeah, and if you like the video, hit that thumbs up. I appreciate that too, and subscribe and stay tuned. And more to come. Okay, thanks, and have an amazing day. Bye.